Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, so today we're going to get into what do the Divine Feminines need to know about their Divine Masculine and how their Divine Masculine navigates this journey. So thank you, Divine Creator. What can we see? The highest and best messages coming through for how the masculines navigate this journey and what the feminines need to know. Let's start with a connection spread. Masculines on the left, feminines on the right. Ha ha. So yeah, the masculines know more than they let on. The sun. So they are way more conscious than you give them credit for, feminines, and they really have to take one for the team by keeping that in check. I'm hearing ignorance is bliss, but this level of awareness of what is appropriate and what they can bring themselves to do or not, that's a huge accountability. They are stable, and many times the feminine is the more emotionally charged one. And so the masculines are the ones that keep such a framework, groundedness. They might seem fickle, they might seem flighty, but it's because they don't want anything unstable. And so they do bolt at certain times on the journey when things aren't... What's in the connection space? Four of Swords. So this is like periods of rest for the purpose of healing heartache. So the masculines know that when there are separations, it's because let sleeping dogs lay, to each their own. It's time to go to source. This is a very enlightened energy. So they know that when they bring spaciousness in, that they're essentially saying, you've got this. It can be a vote of confidence. Like, I'm not sure if what we're doing is the right vibe. So feminines, it's always intentional. And they don't want to have to talk down or spell it out or add insult to injury by hashing it out. And so these breaks that happen, they don't want it to be definitive. They don't want it to be an ending, even if their languaging talks about cut, block, final end. It doesn't necessarily mean that. Sometimes that's what they need to say to get a timeout. They're not used to having real love connections, and so in some regard, they are used to being able to just cut it off with karmic people, other scenarios, and have it just be done and over with and out ghost. But with these connections, there's a relevancy that keeps going. There's life after death. And so that's the beauty of these things. It's unconditional love. So those cycles that happen that the masculines regulate or gate in the energy like this, if they find a counterpart that can stride with those changes, there is no reason why they would ever finish that book. It's like chapters instead of closing that book for forever. So it's more like an unwritten story. Feminine, so you might have a lot of anxiety. They know you have anxiety when these kinds of things happen. Now, I am not talking about masochistic or narcissistic or abusive silent treatment, icing out, stonewalling. Not what I'm talking about here. If you can differentiate the difference between a good person and a potentially good person when these patterns happen, you know, most of the people watching this reading this far are not in an abusive situation. But if you are, that's not a divine relationship, and that is not real love. That's karmic. And I want you to really sincerely understand that the magnetic pull you might be feeling is because you need to see a cycle, you need to break a pattern, you need to stand up for yourself, you need to set healthy boundaries. Sometimes that's going to be really magnetic with a person. That's not a twin flame. That is not a divine counterpart. That's a karmic lesson if there's abuse. If you are in a connection where it's just sort of just out of your comfort zone and you just can't figure out why, it's like near misses, and there's no abuses, there's no harshness, people are good people, there's no blame. It's literally timing and circumstances and things like that. Now we're talking soulmates in the more loving sense, twin flames, alignment, counterparts, divine counterparts, because the energy has to ripen the counterparts in order for it to come together with truly aligned relationships. If when you heal, you are able to let somebody go, it wasn't your divine counterpart. If when you heal, the person keeps coming closer, that is far more likely to be your divine counterpart. So feminines, your divine masculines empathize. They know when you have this anxiety, and they understand that it is par for the course to work through these stages. So I'm actually going to clarify those things. But Four of Cups, so into the near future, there's sort of this bygones be bygones energy where there's another level of possible communication I'm hearing about what's happened in the past and agreeing to leave it in the past and to start fresh. That can be a card of second chances, or letting the glory days or the peak experiences from the past stay in the past so that new, different, better, more enlivened, more conscious things can come in a new cycle. So I'm going to start there and say, what is that for the feminines? We get your life as a canvas, artist, manifestation, creative accountability. So feminines, yes, take these lessons of the cycles. If you are in an aligned scenario, these cycles will be revolving around your growth and your creativity. It should be bringing you into those passion projects, your true self, your aliveness, your growth. And so really do see how the past cycles have been what was needed for your growth, how it can be reflected to you as you've leveled up through the different challenges, the journey. And you can manifest the next steps based on those lessons that you've learned. Utilize the past for what it's meant to be. It's meant to be a scaffolding, a support to put you further on your destiny path. What is the masculine's message? A new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. So masculine, sight unseen right now, you're being asked to drop in and just know that against all odds, this connection is finding its way. It's finding forgiveness. It's finding peace. It's finding balance. Keep looking for those connectivity points, those gratitude angles, and stay the course. But let's get into what we can see for the masculines in light of their consciousness and how it is that they navigate this journey. Thank you, Divine Creator, for showing us what do the feminines need to know that the masculines haven't necessarily spelled out or said out loud or articulated to the feminines about the way they process the journey. Let's get a little bit of backstory in why they handle it that way, why they are wired to navigate the journey the way they are, why it's conscious, why it's that sun energy, divine masculine. Sun is the cosmic divine masculine. What do the feminines need to know about their connection with the masculine in light of what we're going to see here? And what is the instruction that can come through for the feminines in how to utilize this wisdom for forward motion on their path of becoming? Oh, I'm recording a video, sweetie.
Do you have your charger?
No.
Okay,
That's okay. So cute. Okay, masculines. How are the masculines viewing the connection in ways that the feminines may not understand? Okay, Temperance. So they're not claiming to be in their full healing. They are saying that they haven't been ready yet, and so they have been utilizing this as an ultimate growth as well. Temperance is the alchemy. They're looking for that alchemical magic in the connection, but they are gaining experience. They are seeing this as wisdom. They are being brought more into alignment, balance, because of this connection. Where does that stem from? 9 of Wands. They're wanting to put down the struggle in their life. They're wanting to balance out the wounded warrior stuff. They're wanting to heal. Somewhere before they manifested the feminine, they decided that life had to become easier, that they did not want to have a chip on their shoulder or be jaded or not believe in love for the rest of their lives. And so they have literally willed this into being, and they are seeing progress, immeasurable gratitude, and cosmic changes that they've seen. So that means it really has renewed their hope beyond what the world, the downtrodden traumas of the world, that energy. What do the feminines need to know about that? It's progress. Your masculine's healing. You know, we say all the time, what you do for self, you do for other. Well, the masculines are alchemizing in part because of your connection, and that is bringing this to safekeeping. They are healing. They are becoming the masculine that can protect, honor. What is the instruction? Friendship. So feminines, focus on the friendship. 22, that's a very union-esque number. I just saw 1122 when I said that. Beautiful. The energy of friendship supports our intrinsic desire for connection with others based on mutual affection and appreciation. You're looking for mutual progress towards mutual affection and appreciation. Doesn't matter on what level you have that. Be openly curious, feminines. Where, with who, how deeply. You have that with your masculine, with multiple people, with your friends, with your family, co-workers. Connect with people. Take sexual tension out of things and really be curious where you meet others. And be realistic about what is available and where the mutuality is in this connection. Seek those points of contact, connection out, and validate them. Affirm them to yourself. Be aware of them. Grow them. Facilitate them. Foster them. Cultivate them. It's all about progress and true friendship. That is growth. That is aliveness. That is free-spirited encouragement and benefit. Focus on that, feminines. That's what it's about. Not an agenda to, strap someone into a relationship. It is about actually getting to know this blessed individual that's been brought into your life and you into theirs. So what do the masculines not maybe say to the feminines about the feminine? The Magician. They think you're magical. They think the world rises up to meet you. They feel like they've never seen somebody that's able to manifest like you. They've been watching you. They've seen how you've grown. They've seen what you've brought into your life. They see that you do it differently, that you are unique, that there's no one like you except maybe them. But they know that you have that it factor, that X factor, and that you make it look easy. Where does this appreciation come from? Okay, King of Swords, their deep heart-centered desire to know the truth about this reality. And so they are observers, but they run things through their heart, their inner consciousness, their inner dialogue, and they carefully consider. They watch people. They are cosmic voyeurs, I just heard. They are very conscious in how they read energy too. They are the ones who care so much to really understand patterns and what's going on. And they see how different you are. I've never met anyone like my feminine. What do the feminines need to know? Yeah. This is why it's been relevant to hang on to this connection. Why there's such a foundation here is because it goes both ways. Even when you are not in contact, maybe when you're not talking about how much your masculine does appreciate you, because they haven't wanted to get ahead of the connection, it has been in the ethers at very least, hung on to by both parties, because it is such a consciousness experience and a tool. Because when your masculine is deeply considering these things that set you apart, you're feeling the stability in the telepathic realms. What can we see for instruction? Sensuality. Wow. The frequency of sensuality reminds us that as spirits in human bodies, we are sensual beings experiencing joy and pleasure from the physical world through our senses. So don't be in waiting. Continue to enjoy your life, to, activate the sacral chakra with delicious food, music, the finer things that you love. That doesn't mean expensive. That just means allowing yourself to revel in the things that bring pleasure to your life. Don't turn off your pleasure-o-meter when your masculine isn't apparent or coming forward. The connection is secure, but you living in your bliss, following your bliss. And that doesn't mean rebellion necessarily. I mean, at some phases maybe, but I'm talking about good, authentic, wholehearted, sincere pleasure in just the ways that make your heart sing. So don't be in waiting, feminines, because this magical experience of life that your masculine is seeing in you is what makes them fall in love and notice that you are that one for them. You totally lavishing in the way you enjoy reality. There's nothing more magnetic or attractive than somebody that's, in bliss. That is incredible. Okay, what are the masculines not saying about the heart space regarding this? Four of Wands, union. This is love at first sight, I just heard. Like they saw you, they knew you were different. Their heart jolted. They felt like, whoa, who is this? This person. They immediately, many of them heard, there she is, or there they are. That's the one. There is my person. Immediately upon meeting you. I just heard the electromagnetic eminence of your heart spaces, even at a distance, touched, because twin flames, people who are that loving on the twin flame path of mastery have huge heart chakras. And so it does reach further than you would suspect and overlap with your counterpart. And that electromagnetic charge that's felt jolts the masculines is what I'm hearing. So they had a soul recognition when your auras connected. For those who haven't met in the physical, they still have had a recognition, and I'm hearing for many it was in the dream space where you astrally projected to each other in some kind of other dimension. So dreams, astral realm, that they've had that experience in connecting further on the astral plane. Interesting. Where did this come from? So yes, they asked to meet the one. They wanted to believe in God, believe in true love, believe in a creator, believe that they were worthy of love. And so they have very much been overcoming the confusion and lack of awareness and lack of hope. They've been overcoming all of those things in their life. And when they met you, they knew that was the answer to that prayer. What do the feminines need to know? Prince of Cups, yeah, your masculine has meant what they've said. The things they've offered you, the things that they've given you as feedback. Sorry guys, my dog is trying to get in here, but there are lots of people that the dog can talk to over there. It's just being bratsky. Okay, advice for the feminines. Fifth chakra, communication. The energy of throat chakra supports our ability to communicate clearly and truthfully. So yeah, don't feel duped by your masculine. Again, the masculines have communicated every step of the way to the best of their intuitive guidance. And so this is a work in progress. Remember, they haven't been fully healed and lording it over you that they've been rejecting you. They've been trying their best. They've been learning. They've been doing their best. And so communication, as these connections come in and establish, it's a little nerve-wracking because this is a growth curve that neither have been on. I just saw 1919. What do the masculines want you to know about the heart space that they haven't necessarily said yet? The Tower. The minute they met you, it changed everything. Their life took a different turn. Where did that come from? Five of Cups. They were grieving, they were mourning, and you were the salve on their heart. They believed in love. The grief of the world couldn't hold a candle to the light that you shone on, the possibility of love, the probability of love. Oh my gosh, sorry guys about the dog. We're going to have to push through. Hopefully it's not too distracting. What do you need to know, feminines? Let this continue to speak to your life purpose and inspire you on the soul level. This grieving process isn't fully done. Your masculine is still being transformed by this process. What is the advice for the feminines? Attraction. The energy of attraction amplifies the qualities that attract and support us on our journey towards inner balance and harmony. So let the process unfold naturally. Pay attention to when you're legitimately attracted and when that cools. There is an ebb and flow, a breath and pulse to these connections. Do not fear that the connection is lost when you feel that drop off. Think of it as a dualistic ebb and flow and allow it to have its own rhythm. The two of you have your own unique rhythm that ebbs and flows as you evolve and as you grow together, as you twin, as you balance out, as you get to know each other, as you understand the spiritual lessons, the physical lessons, the integration. It is this motion. So the masculines know that they had never met someone before that would actually click like that. They've always heard, and you know, that fabled love, but they didn't really understand what that would feel like. So with you, there is this pulse to it. And that when they met you, it changed everything, the way they looked at all relationships previously. And for those who have dabbled or been in other relationships since and had that contrast, there's nothing like this. It is truly, you can't make it up. What are the manifestations the masculines want to take? Yeah, so what they haven't said is that they have not been confused about you, but they've been confused about the circumstances, the logistics. It's almost been like so ironic or paradoxical. Like they've almost said, why God? Why the perfect person at the wrong time? Or why the perfect person with these kinds of obstacles? Or why the perfect person highlighted here with all this unknown attached to it? Where did that come from them? Queen of Swords. They've wanted to have an easy affinity, grace. This is my card of grace. So they sought grace from the divine for relationships. And so that began to bring in you. Their love is effortless, easy, grace-filled, but the circumstances haven't been. Unless the divine masculines give those circumstances up to the divine and let God take the reins, for instance. The moment they release the struggle associated with those circumstances or details, that is the moment, as above, so below. Grace is unfolding on all the dimensions. But do not worry, feminines. You and your love, your effortlessness, and the compatibility and the soul recognition, that was sealed the moment that you met and manifested into each other's life. But these other things, that's been the journey of maturation that the masculines have been undergoing to receive that which they asked for. What do the feminines need to know about this? Free your mind of all the struggles, of all the misconceptions, of all the pain, of all the fearful thoughts. Get yourself out of that. That is not what has happened here. What is the instruction? Okay, there goes the roosters. Why are they doing that at like 7 at night? 6th chakra, energy of the third eye chakra supports our inner sight and intuitive abilities. So really scour your psyche right now, feminines, for anything that you've, unrightfully condemned yourself about with your worthiness, or, really take a good look at the fact that you have been perfect. You're their dream person, feminines. And so use your intellect to really rewrite the stories that you have told yourself about why you're not being chosen by them. You are. You are. It's the circumstances that the masculines have wanted things or believed that things should be easier, or they've desired that kind of ease and grace. But that is earned. They have to be accountable. They have to stop putting themselves in harm's way and choosing karmic things in order for grace to ensue across their lives. You are the first non-karmic thing that has crossed their path. And so by default, it is now a calibration across their lives, but it's a work in progress because they have to let go of all of that stuff that was them settling for the best they could get at the time. And don't blame them. They didn't know you existed. They didn't know what that would be like. And so they were doing the best they could, but it's necessity that we engage in karmic things because this is a dimension of learning that way, of soul growth. And so utilize your intuition to really take a different objective approach with your masculine. Saw 25-25 just now. And yeah, take a rest, 7-7. Take a rest and really look at it objectively. That your masculine, once they met you, it was game changer energy. And they are still working on bringing ease that matches the ease they feel with you to the rest of their lives so that you will fit in, aka so they can rise up to meet you in the energy. That is what they're wishing to manifest. What action are they taking that they're not telling you about? The world, they're closing out cycles. They're preparing for New Year's Day. The Jupiter and the Mercury going direct. This is the end of this year. They are absolutely wrapping up loose ends. Yeah, they're on it. They're on it. Where's that coming from? 6 of Swords. Yes, internal progress. Like they are motivated right now. What do the feminines need to know about that? Higher love is grounding. What is the instruction? Divine feminine. Divine feminine supports our soft, receptive, and nurturing side, facilitating our intuition and intrinsic understanding of our connection to the cosmos. So really look at, are you receptive or do you have some kind of resistance in you? Are you still feeling victim or blame or projecting things into this connection that have no business being there? Are you sure you're looking at things in the right way? If you are sure that you're looking at the scenario with your counterpart or this masculine that you're watching this for in the right way, it might be karmic if it's not based in love. And so you do need to unhook from that so that you can say, wait a second, what am I settling for here? And so you can come back into communion with the divine and say, what would the alternative be to this which I'm settling for? And set a new standard for yourself, feminines. That doesn't mean you'll lose this person. It means that you will then understand what will work for you and be able to foster it and cultivate it when you see it so that those aspects can continue to grow and the other things that aren't working for you can be released. Some people will need to release the person altogether, and don't feel guilt about that. You deserve real love, and sometimes we do have to go back to the drawing board and have a new manifestation list, because when we are manifesting relationship without having been healed yet, we bring in exactly the lesson that we need with someone. So thank it all, celebrate it, be grateful for everything, but learn the lessons if you want to be refined enough for a divine connection. What can we see for the biggest challenge that the masculines aren't talking about? King of Swords. Yes, this impeccability, this highest standard on their heart, this communion with higher guidance, the way that they assess things, analysis paralysis, not going to outside help, feeling like they have to do it, go it alone. Also, this can be ego when they forget to ask higher guidance, when they're going on instinct and not really understanding some of those things. Like we saw already, the Temperance in the inverse, the masculines haven't had it all figured out every step of the way. They have their epiphanies like you do, feminines, but their challenge is when they try to go it alone and not through connection with source, or they're reading the energy in a material frame and not in an energetics-based reality. And so that's their challenge. Where does that come from? Desire for change. So it ironically, it brings exactly the contemplations, the scenarios, the lessons, the markers that they have to consider and work through on their own. You're not supposed to mum them through this. This is their challenge, is coming to these epiphanies on their own and growing on their own and balancing out with their connection to source. What do the feminines need to know? This is what's going to bring in soulmate reunion or twin flame reunion or, divine counterpart aligned reunion. You will get cycles of return. If you are in a karmic situation, a twin flame situation, a aligned one, whatever you call it, energy is cyclical. It will come back around if it's relevant to you. Just because a cycle keeps coming back around with someone does not mean that person is healthy and good for you, or your life partner, or your aligned one. You can have life partnership in crappy relationships. You can have no partnership with the most beautiful scenarios. There's a whole spectrum of it, but things come back around no matter what it is. So only you know what it is, and only you can excel past the current patterns by figuring out what is relevant for you, what you appreciate, what fills you up, makes your heart sing, and then cultivating more of that by any name. That's the rose that's very, very sweet. Tantric journey, feminines. The frequency of tantric journey helps us to unlock the hidden knowledge and wisdom that we intrinsically hold about how to reach a state of wholeness and completion through our sensual experiences with ourselves and with another. So we got sensuality already. So this is very much you becoming accustomed to receiving pleasure across the board with all the finer things that you enjoy, and giving yourself permission, feminines, to revel in that stuff. That way of life that you're beginning to cultivate, that is your bliss, your freedom to experience and receive pleasure, that healing that you're doing that allows you that experience, that gives yourself permission to, experience that, having healed so much trauma on the sacral chakra so that you can actually authentically have that amount of pleasure. That's bringing in your sexual union with your counterpart, with a pure partner. Before you actually are open to real pleasure and trauma's there, you are turned on and stimulated, aroused by things that are not actually good for you. It's a calibration. If your dial is set to a disintegrated radio station, that's what you're going to pick up and connect with. As you heal, that rises. And this is the epitome of coming into a finely tuned Stradivarius in relationship. That's the level you're getting to here. And that demands that you have a partner that can match you on that level. And I really believe the people watching my readings are in line for that, regardless of what kind of relationship you're in right now. What is the remedy for this struggle of the masculines having to learn at first person? Unconditional love. To understand this is the human condition, masculines, and that you have all the time you need, that you are allowed. So the masculines are beginning to realize that there is so much safety, patience, spaciousness here to become. Where is that coming from in them? The great wheel. They are settling into divine guidance, divine timing, divine plan. This is them trusting. This is the trust fall into the universe that it's all okay. And because they're growing, it's extraordinary. It's like winning the lottery, getting all these lessons and bliss and epiphanies, and it's ecstatic, isn't it? It is. It is. What can we see for, I just saw 3311. So I think we saw 1133 a minute ago. I don't know. Do the inner work, perfect your craft, continue excelling, continue taking your life to the next level, continue being excellent when no one's watching, feminines, because this is you living your best life, 3333, while your masculine continues working their stuff out. That doesn't mean that your life is perfect. That means continue doing the things to bring your life into alignment with the highest potentials for you. And just know that it's bringing your union in. It's synonymous. As you come into alignment with your most authentic, blissed out, beautiful existence in every way, love finds you, feminines. What is the advice? Coherence. Supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for an optimal ability to create the reality we desire. Yeah, so keep working on that coherence, feminines. What is the direction that the masculines are aware of that they're not telling you? 8 of Swords. They're waiting for the feminines to free themselves from devil energies. You know, feminines, you think that you're waiting on your masculine. The masculines aren't telling you. They're also waiting on you. They can see your potential, your karmic situation, your scenario more clearly than you can. And just like you see how far they have to go, they see how far you have to go. It works hand in hand. It's mirrored. If you haven't seen that yet, take a step back and look at yourself from another perspective. You know the things that are frustrating you, that are obstacles in your life, the squeaky wheel stuff. Your masculine sees that and knows that has to be moved through and that you will be better for it, feminines. And they don't tell you that because they love you. And they know it's a vote of confidence that you're just going to do it. Where is this coming from? They're not confused. This unconditional love that it's like they're treating you how they treat themselves. Patience is a virtue, I just heard. And so patience for self, patience for others. But yeah, they do see through the confusion. They know they're not deluding themselves, but they believe in you. And so they're keeping quiet in some regard because they want you to make the changes that are best for you without their interference, without their force. You will make them happy indeed if you continue moving through those things. What is the feminine Queen of Swords? Making the cuts. It's time to make some major decisions. I just did a feminine reading about those major decisions. What's the instruction? Universal love, 44. The frequency of universal love activates the connection we feel to each other, to our planet, and the whole of existence itself. Yeah, these journeys are bringing us into unity consciousness. All of the angelic realms, all of the heavenlies, the spirit teams, the guidance, our ancestors, everybody, ancestors say aho. Everybody's rooting on this ascension, this becoming. Okay, many blessings, everyone. Bye for now.